Like we all know, just why we wait. Franchising is probably uh, almost driving the economy these days. Um, what's interesting is we probably had our best years during COVID. What I always say is the good operators always did well when you follow the system. Some concepts did better than others, but franchising, you had the support during these hard times. Okay, it's 1 minute after. Just give me a couple more minutes. I see some people still um, entering the meeting. I won't keep the people online waiting that long. I like to normally start about 3 minutes after um, the set date. So we have a couple more minutes. Just so you know, also Southbrook Business Development Group, you'll learn what we do, but we are have exclusive brands that we represent. We will go over that today of what brands that we represent. So you'll be able to understand. And we'll also go through all of the brands and a little bit about what the cost is and give you a description. We do have both restaurant and non-restaurant use. So we'll go from there. Again, 1 more minute. I won't keep the rest of everybody. I'll start the presentation. Okay. So we're down. I see a couple more people coming in. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll start, and as more people come in, if I have to let them in, I will just basically let them in as we speak. Um, so thank you. So I just want to say welcome. We're Southbrook Business Development Group. Today, you're going to learn a little bit about franchising, some of the do's and the don'ts. Some of the policies is very standard. You will also learn a little bit about what Southbrook does. I'll give you some of my opinions on franchising, and then we'll close it off. One of the things you'll see is feel free. There is a Q&A box on your screen. If you have a question, feel free to leave me the question in the chat box. Do not be afraid. Okay, so we'll start the presentation. My name is Joel. I've been in this franchising field now for over 40 years right now. I started with McDonald's restaurant, worked with Second Cup, Eastside Mario's, got into the grocery business, into Loblaws, in the No Frills and Your Independent chains. So very familiar with the operational part of it and also the franchising part of it. So a little bit about me. Southbrook, I have a business partner and a team. Unfortunately, Ted could not be here. Like I said, he wishes he could, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to attend. I just want to read a little disclaimer. The information contained in this presentation is confidential and proprietary information of Southbrook Business Group. Although Southbrook Business believes that the information herein contained is reasonable, it makes no representation, warranties, or guarantees that the information contained in this presentation is accurate or complete, or that the franchisee of any center or business described herein will achieve any particular level of sales or profit. I love this last comment. The success of any business including a franchise, is highly dependent upon the ability of the owner. So take a look at yourself as a person. You're here because you want to learn about franchising. You also want to know that there are some risk in any business you do, but there's a lot of benefits. So of being a business owner, I've worked for the corporate life and then decided to go on my own, and would never look back. I think it was one of the best things I've ever done. Okay. Okay. What do we do? What does Southbrook do? So we help franchisors expand their business. We do restaurant, retails, business, so the food and non-food. We do sell individual restaurants. So if any of you online have a restaurant that you want to sell or a business, we're able to do that. We also help if anybody here needs help with lease negotiations. We're here to help you also. And part of it, I have a team that actually helps people with their operations. So we do go into businesses, evaluate their business, and see where they want to improve. So that's a little bit about what Southbrook does. So really what we say is that we're a one-stop shop brokerage or consultant. So really, what is I want you to understand what is a franchise. Very important that you understand what that is, and what is the responsibility. Sorry about that. I don't know. Someone's, give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. What the franchisor responsibility and what the franchisee's responsibility. So a franchise is really a business where they take franchisees and open locations, and the franchisees follow a system. It is really the franchisor's responsibility for the concept and the design and the trademark. So things to watch out is if you ever go into a franchise that don't have trademark, you really need to worry about that. The other thing is that they will deal with the demographics, the traffic, and the locations. They will also have a franchise agreement that's made up of all the rules and regulations. The franchise agreement is there for 2 reasons, not just for the franchisor to police, but also for the franchisees. And you may say, well, it's really always a one-sided agreement, but it's there to protect fellow franchisees that are really complying to the rules and help the franchisors that are not complying. We will also, as a franchisor, help build and assist to build the site. More and more people these days are allowing the franchisees to build, the franchisors. But again, they were there to assist and build. And again, the last couple things that they're there for is help with training, number 1, and continuous support. So most franchise ors will not just train you and then leave you. You're looking for a franchisor that will help with you all along. Again, as we say, your business for yourself, but not by yourself. And a good franchisor will always be there, whether it's implementing new programs, coming into your establishment, sitting down, reviewing your P&Ls, yes, inspecting your location, make sure that you're in full compliance of the franchise agreement. Okay. When you look at the industry, there's 3 ways of really talking about how do franchisors award sites. They award sites as single franchises, meaning you can buy a single one within a territory. You can do an area development agreement. So with the area development agreement, this is where you may say, I want to do 5 locations within 3 years, and I want to have, X amount of territory. Or you want to have what we call a master franchise. So we do that with our franchisors. We just currently, you'll learn about Big Mama Papa Pizzeria. We signed in the last 2 years 5 master franchises, and what they are is they basically have to open one corporate store within their territory, and then what they do is they sub-franchise the agreements. The franchisor will help the master open the first store, train all their employees, train the franchisee, and then from then on, the master will open the stores and give the same type of support that the franchisor has. So the master franchise is just a sub-franchise or. And then the part of the deals, what happens is they support them through a deal where the master franchisor and the sub-franchisees, they really what they do is they share in royalties and they share in the transfer fee. So I really want to just go over a little bit, and again, feel free to ask any questions. This is a very important topic. Potential franchisees always want to know, why do we have to pay royalties? Why do we have to pay marketing fund? And why do we have to pay franchise fees? So I'm just going to give you an example of each and what the guideline is. Right now, franchise fees in general are going from anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000. Some people say, well, you guys are up and coming, why are you charging so much? So the days of, young franchisees charging less is irrelevant, okay? If anything, it's the mature franchises that don't need the capital. The younger ones do. Now, the reason why you have a franchise fee is years ago, and again, I'm a very straightforward person. I tell it like it is. They used to use franchise fees as a revenue-driven line on their P&L. Now it's not. It's to really get you up and running, get you to support, help you with grand opening, training employees, finding sites, paying fees to people, lawyer fees, brokerage fees, that kind of fees. So just take a franchise fee is, let's say you want to open one restaurant, okay? Let's take it as you really would have to come up with a marketing plan, you would have to come up with design, you would have to come up with a supply chain. Consider this fee that you pay to the franchisor, that type of fee, that's what it's for. It's really for you not to do any of that work. It's for you to come into an established system. So be prepared to pay anywhere from 35 to 50,000 in franchise fees. Royalties, anywhere from 4 to 10. And really, each sector has it. So if you look at restaurants, they're really 5 to 7. You look at retail, 7 to 10, and you look at education franchises, they're about 10 to 12%. So every one of and it's just common, every sector will have a certain royalty based on the sector, okay? So you will not see, in general, a 10% royalty in restaurants. It's usually 5 to 7%. Your marketing fees are normally 2 to 3%. And really these days it's for online, helping you with Uber, Skip the Dishes, if it's restaurants, website, SEOs, Facebook, Twitter. So be prepared that that's what it is. And now when you have a smaller franchise that you're getting into, 2% of, 5 stores, 10 stores is not a lot of money. So the franchisor is contributing to the marketing fund. Okay, so that's where your marketing, your royalties is where they make the income. Your franchise fee, right, these days are neutral, revenue neutral. So why buy a franchise? Why don't you do it yourself? Because you're really buying an established brand, established product. You have a product, you know what goes into the product, you know where to get the product, and you know how to serve it. Our market researches and our promotional costs will be cheaper than you if you go out and do it on your own as a single unit. You need help. Like I said, is the franchisor is there to help you, to guide you. Um, Lower startup costs, again, because we have economies of skill, economies of scale. Franchisors are able to build their location a lot cheaper. And one of the best things that you have when you're a franchisee is you're able to share ideas with other franchisees. So to me, when you go to a convention and you talk about with other franchisees, they'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, what they're doing that's successful, what makes their stuff successful and not successful. We have access to great locations and access to landlords. So, if you have a chain of 10, 15 locations, chances are they are in with all the major landlords anyways. So it gives us some power. And then you have purchasing power with suppliers. And I always say you take care of your suppliers and your suppliers will take care of you. Okay. Interesting. Why franchising? Because it's a prominent sector in Canada. They say that the franchising sector has been growing about 20% since 1993. And they say every 90 minutes, a new franchise is opening. So right now, somewhere in Canada, a franchise has just opened its doors. Why franchising? Because you get into your business, you're able to control the hours of work. You're really a community leader within your community, which brings pride to yourself. I always like this. You really are the decision maker when you buy a franchise. You're your own boss. Yes, you have some rules that you have to follow. There's opportunity to grow multi-unit. There's also the ability to build some net worth. I mean, you buy a business. At one day, you may want to sell a business. And I always say, how you enter the business is very important, and your exit strategy is just as important. Okay. You also have some very good taxable benefits. So I always say there's all kinds of different write-offs, and that's a benefit. So what does franchisees need to do when it talks about expanding with sites? There's really two things that franchisees will look at and that to help our franchisors. Okay. The first thing is they say location, location, location. I do agree with that statement. And if anybody has any comments, that goes against it. But if you find a great location, then it needs a great operator. And you have a great concept, you have a great location, but if the operator is not good, then the location doesn't matter. And I've seen so many times where you put one operator in, it does $10 a year, but when you put another operator, same location, same concept, it will do $30. Okay, so very important that you take a look at that. We have to find the right demographics. I mean, we as ourselves, my business partner is with Remax. We'll look at understanding what the demographics, what may work for one concept may not work for another concept. So very important that you take a look at that. The right size. now when you look at size and they say size does matter, it really does. I mean, you'll see more and more concepts, especially in the restaurant business. They've gone from 5,000 to 4,000. The 4,000s have gone to 3,000s. And you really see concepts anywhere now from 1,200 square feet. And I'm maybe talking more in the restaurant business, all the way up to about 2,500. When you look at the right rates, so I'm going to tell you what the right rates are. It's very, very standard. It does not matter. You know, I had a potential franchisee came yesterday in Sudbury. They're having the same problem that we're having in GTA that we're having in Vancouver. It's hard to find sites. And the second thing is the rents are not the cheapest these days, and we don't foresee rents going down. If anything, we see rents going up. So now is the time to get in. I may have said that last year, but really we've seen. So a basic rent is about $35 to $45 a square foot. And your common area maintenance and tax, you're sitting at about $10 to $15 a square foot. I'm seeing a site tomorrow where, again, it's a downtown Toronto site. Your CAM and taxes are $98 and your rent's $200. So you are seeing CAM and taxes creeping up also. And then it's, again, in the restaurant business or even in any business, is taking over an existing location that was a restaurant before or was a retail place, has washrooms where we can be able to use some of the existing stuff so we can make the cost cheaper. So as the lease negotiations, a couple things that we look at is we look at the rates. Do they go up? How many years do they go up? Meaning, is it from year 1 to 2 at a set rate, 3 to 4 as a set rate? And there's no set rule. Each landlord has it. I see sometimes it's year 1 to 5 is a set rate and then 6 to 10. That was more in the past. Now we're seeing rents as 1 to 2 is one rate, then 3 to 4 is a one rate, and so on. We're looking at what TMI and CAMs are. We're looking at option to renew. Is there any renewals? Is this a 10-year deal plus 2 5-year option? Is it 5 and 5? So we look at that. We look at personal guarantees, whether or not the landlord will ask for the franchisor to give some personal guarantees or some type of covenant. And you will be asked for some type of covenant these days, or a deposit, extra deposit. So one site we're working on in Milton, we actually see they're asking for 4 months of prepaid rent and 1 month of deposit at the end of the term. So it's 5 months that the franchisee has to give up front. We look at the fixturing period, and normally what we do is we do 90 days of fixturing, meaning to build, and then we do 60 days of minimum rent-free period. So we look at that so that you're really set up, that you don't have to pay during construction, and that when you're open, you're only paying CAM and taxes. Then we look at landlords, what we call landlords tenants inducement. And it's very important that, is the landlord going to give any money to help contribute to the construction of the place? The other thing that we're looking at is if they're going to do what we call landlord's work. So that's another thing that we look at. So that's that. We look at if it's an existing business, do we have to buy the chattels? And if it's a bankruptcy of a former business, is the bank involved? Do we have to pay any money to the trustee or stuff like that? And the main thing that we do look at also is we look at a demolition clause if you have anything in your letter of intent or your lease. And what that is, the landlord has the ability to kick you out at any time. What is the compensation? Or if they want to demolish the place, is there a relocation clause if they want to move you? Okay, so those are the things that you do have as a benefit with a franchisor. There's stuff that they do or the brokers such as my partner does in the leasing business. So let's just talk about some of the brands that we represent. The first half of it is food franchises, and the second half is non-food. So we deal with brands such as A Clubs, Shoeless Joe's, Sunnyside Grill, Capriotti's, Wing Zone, Gotcha Bubble Tea, Kukuli Cafe. We also deal with, and we'll go through them with some non-foods such as Uptown, Med Laser, Two Men in a Truck, Inspiration Learning Centers, and Starfleet. There's more on the list, but we'll go through them one by one. So some of the food franchise we list is Shoeless Joe's. We look at a footprint of 3,500 to 5,000 square feet or 5,500. You're looking at about a $550 to $1.2 million, depends if it's a conversion. So the general rule you'll see, and you'll get what you see is going to be very consistent here. Anything that's really 2,500 square feet and above, you're looking at anywhere from really a 7 to about $1 million to $1.2 million investment. When you talk about anything from 1,000 square feet to about 1,500, you're looking at about a 450 to 550 investment. And then when you're looking at the in-between, you're looking at anywhere from a 550 to a 700 investment. Now, you may say, that's high. There's nothing in the place. Why is the investments high? Okay. It is high because, as you know, construction has been up over the last 5 years. You know, some franchisees think that the franchisors are making some money on the deal. And what really happens is they're really not making the money. Everybody used to make money on construction, but they're really charging costs. If anything, you'll see in some of the agreements, you'll see that they charge a management fee. And you'll also see that some franchisors will allow the franchisees to do their own build. They just have to follow the plans and the design. Okay. Again, any questions, let me know. Now, Gotcha Bubble Tea. Excellent brand. It's, you know, bubble tea is really on a boom right now. Yes, there are competitors out there, but there's competitors in any fields. If you see, you know, a burger place, there'll be, you know, 3, 4 burger places near you, a coffee place, you know, wherever there's a Starbucks, not too far, there's a Tim Hortons, as an example. So Gotcha Bubble Tea, simple operation. 900 to 1,200 square feet, about a $295,000 investment, $35,000 franchise fee, and you're seeing royalties at 4 and 2. Excellent franchisor. It belongs to a master franchisor for Canada. What was interested is he wanted to buy one store, and he was so impressed with the concept that he bought the master for Canada. It's out of Taiwan, and what's interested is they have their own tea farms in Taiwan. We'll go on to the next one. Oh, here's some pictures of it. Here's some products. And yesterday I was there. I mean, the bubble tea is outstanding. They do have some desserts that they're working to expand the menu. They're trying some cheesecakes. Then we have, and going back to Gotcha, the great thing about Gotcha, it has a really low cost of goods sold. And that's because the reason is because, you know, there's not a lot of product and there's not a lot of expiry date on the product. Then you have Kukuli Cafe. What is Kukuli Cafe? It's from Vancouver. They have 4 locations, anywhere from 15 to 1,700 square feet, about a 400 to 450 investment. They charge a $35,000 franchise fee. Their royalties are 5 and 2. This is the coffee business. So it's really coffee. and what they do serve is bannock. Bannock is huge. It's an indigenous uh, uh, food. It's bread that is put on all of their product. An excellent, excellent. So if you want to get into the coffee business, again, has very good margins, coffee, something unique. People these days want something unique. The brands that we represent are really all unique. Kukuli Cafe, Gotcha Bubble Tea, Big Mama Pop-Up Pizzeria, Egg Club, something that's different, unique. People these days, both investors and consumers, do not want the same, same sort of what we call product out there. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of their product. So here's their outside. Don't panic. We have Bannock. Okay, now I'm sure everybody saw the program, You Gotta Eat Here. Well, they were on that program, got great reviews on that program. They're about healthy products, and everybody, as we know, want healthy products. They're about salads, and they use like bison, lamb in their menu, so a lot of different things that you don't get in most coffee shops. Let's call it coffee shops, or we should call it coffee cafes out there. I worked for Second Cup for 5 years, and I tell you, it was such an enjoyable experience, the coffee business, because it's fun. People come in, you get to know them by name, you get to know their drinks. Remember, you're giving these people caffeine every day, and they're your best friend. Okay. Again, some really healthy products, well prepared. Their drinks. Let's talk about our next one. Big Mama Papa Pizzeria. So this is a chain. Yes, that is a 54-inch pizza that we do serve in the stores. This is a chain that has 18 stores in California. It is now, we sold this by master franchise. We sold in BC. We sold Calgary, Edmonton. There is a store in Calgary right now that is open. We have Ontario, a few master franchises, and we're working on them, and Saskatchewan, sorry, and we're working on the Maritime. So basically, we've sold these in parts. So there's a master franchise in Calgary. There's a master franchise in Edmonton. There's three master franchises in Ontario. So we're breaking them in parts. You can be a single operator here. You can be a area developer, or you can also be a master, because there's still some opportunities, especially in Ontario. There's a few opportunities left. So they have two sides. They have a 22 to 2,500 square feet. They have a full menu. They do serve beer and wine, and catering is a huge part of this business. It seats about 25 to 35 with TVs. Again, we look at it as a 575 to 775 investment. Royalties are 5, advertisements 3. What I like about, besides the product, is if you notice, their franchise fee and the royalties are paid in Canadian dollars. So most US franchise that come into Canada, most, not all, do that, you have to pay in US dollars your franchise fee. So you pay 5% plus whatever the exchange. Here, you're paying everything in Canadian dollars. Okay, then you have the Pronto again, and this is just a more of a takeout delivery with some seats. You're looking at about a $375 to $450 investment. Now, this is amazing. The PR stuff that happens in this brand is outstanding. Yes, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger that has done lots of work, and that's Ellen, and we're at the Oscars. So the owners of Big Mama Pop-Up Pizzeria everything has to be big. 54-inch pizza, 32-inch pizza, big slice. Everything has to be big, and they're marketing geniuses in my eyes. They got on the Ellen show. They've been actually on her show and on Oscars, and they served all the movie stars on TV their pizza. So very good. I'll talk about this car very shortly, and I'll talk about it now. So part of the franchise is you will have to lease or buy a car. And on top of that, if you take a look on top, that's how you're going to travel the 54-inch pizza. You cannot put the pizza in a car, will not. Plus, you have to make sure that it stays hot. So those have warmers. So there's nothing like you showing up to a kid's birthday party, to a charity organization, to a mall, whatever, with this car. This pizza serves about 300 people, and you cut them up small. So very, very good. You know, our ovens can handle this type of pizza also. It's built for this pizza. Okay. So again, some of our big slice, you see Mama's big slice. It's not a normal slice. You see the 24, 28, 36 inches pizza. Here is again some pictures of pizzas. It's a Cali style pizza. Now, we are more than just pizza. You are about chicken wings, you are calamari, sub sandwiches. This is a gondola pizza. Again, another brilliant idea. It's a pizza with egg, great for breakfast. You start putting, you know, if you like bacon, eggs, ham on it, you can make it into an omelet. So very unique and different. Remember, you want something to purchase something that's unique and different. Then we have Wing Zone. Again, Wing Zone is a US brand now available. If you would look at who our competitor is in Canada from the US, would be Wingstop is another franchise that have come in and done a great job or is about to do a great job in Canada. In Canada, you're looking at our competitor would be Wings Up and Wild Wings. Okay. They do have a sister company called Capriotti's Subway and Sandwich, and I'll talk to that about afterwards. Small print, total investment is anywhere from 450 to 600,000. Royalties 6 and 3. What you'll learn about Wing Zone and Capriotti's, and I'll just first show you Wing Zone. Okay, here's a couple of our version. What we did change the name and we made it into flavor real fast. So they came into a new tagline. You need to have flavor for the pizza, and people don't have time. They want to be in and out and served right away. So that's their new tagline. Okay, here's a look at inside the restaurant. And again, we just added a chicken sandwich. As you know, everybody wants chicken sandwiches these days on their menu. We see a lot of competitors out there with chicken sandwiches, but that's okay. You know, we're never afraid of competitors. Now, if you look at this slide, you see that they have the benefit of Wing Zone is it has a very high average check. Doesn't mean that the pricing is overpriced, but they look for combo. So you go into any quick service, one person comes in, spends $14 on a meal, and then they walk out. What Wing Zone is selling is party packs. They're selling dinner for 2, dinner for 4, dinner for 6. You know, they have a dinner for 100. So you see a lot. If you look at the middle slide, you'll see that they have fries with 3 types of wings. They have chicken fingers. You can combine all that kind of stuff. And that's what makes the average check. So it's not about getting volume of people in. It's about increasing their average check. Our training system really trains the people that if they do not order online, that they train them how to upsell. And that's very important. Then you have Caparotti's, and that is a sandwich shop. So if you look at the competitor of who it is in Canada, of course, Subway is always a competitor, but when you take a look at it, you're looking at probably would be Firehouse Subs, and probably most of you know what Firehouse Subs is a premium Subway shop that does very well. We at Capriotti's are the biggest users of butterball turkey in North America. What happens at nighttime when you're about to close the restaurants, you put the turkey into the oven, and in the morning it's cooked and it comes up. So it's slow roasted, as you can say. Okay. You're looking again anywhere from 450 to 750. You're looking at a royalties of 6 and 3. So, couple benefits of Caparotti's and Wing Zone. They have a very, very strong management team, probably one of the top management teams in the US for restaurant brands that they have over the years come together. And two, they're very big on technologies. Right now, they're testing, and if not, they have in already stores, a robotic arm that actually cooks fries. As labor gets tight and a bit, a lot of people are turning to robotics. They also have a system, POS system that everything is done on your phone. So basically, it's amazing because what happens is you can check the labor percent each week. You know what your food cost is. You know if someone has opened the back door. There's cameras on there. There's all statistics to figure out what day your average check was higher. What is your customer count? So that every day you can analyze your business, and every month you do have a conference call with the franchisor to go through your analysis. And what they do is they compare you to other stores. Okay. So very good is that you'll know. So when your staff say that oh, I can't get my labor down to, 29%. Well, let's take a look at all the stores that we have in our market, like square footage, like atmospheres, like demographics, everything, and they can give you the comparison of how to do it. So very, very good concept. Here's a couple of, they're out of Vegas. So here's a couple of unique concepts they have. Look into their stores. They do have multi-unit where they can combine their two stores together. Here's some of and catering. Catering is huge with Caparotti's because it's subs. So it's a great opportunity to do catering. Now let's talk about A Club. A Club is a Toronto-based company. Right now there's 4 units in Toronto. What's unique and different is they're served on a Japanese bread and it's all handheld sandwiches. It's a QSR breakfast concept. They have nothing on their menu but breakfast. They do extremely, extremely well. We're opening one in Square One, Waterloo, and Ottawa. We are also we opened one in Calgary. Okay, 1,300 to 1,500 square feet. Total investment is about 450 to 550. Okay, royalties are 6 and 3. So here's a unique. This one here is 600 square feet. One is in North York, the other one is downtown. You'll see on the weekends the lineups out the door. Okay, you'll see that there's the Japanese bread. I'll show you some more pictures. Bright, cheerful locations when you come in. And this is everything on their menu. You'll see there's 8 sandwiches. We just added bowls to it. The packaging is top class so that it can travel well. and it maintains their heat. Excellent concept. Then we're talking about Fin City Fish and Chips. Basically, the great things about Fin City, they have about 12 stores. It was started by a young gentleman who used their grandmother recipe. We are not currently in GTA. We are in Stony Creek and Hamilton, but we're not in we're mostly on the outskirts. You'll see this location booming on a Friday because it's Fish Friday, but they're more than just fish and chips. So what's good about this location, about this concept, is it is about 150 to 350,000. We like to go into taking over existing restaurants that have failed or whatever the reason, the lease expired, and go in and do a minor renovation and change. So this concept's good for people that don't have a lot of unencumbered cash to get in. Royalties are 6 and 2 with a franchise fee of 35,000. So here's some of their locations and their signage. And what's interesting, if you see the one with the boats, that's only open 4 or 5 months, and does, it's about 2,000 square feet with a huge patio, serves alcohol, has karaoke on the weekends. So you can make it, if you do have a sit down, you can make it a fun atmosphere. You take a look at some of their promotion is live music Saturday and Sunday, Fish Fridays. Every day they have a little bit of a special, hand battered or pan fried. So an excellent concept. Here's the fish. All the fish is fresh. The franchisor negotiates their prices on a yearly basis, so you don't see the fluctuation of the fish go up or down throughout the year. They make their coleslaw home style, I guess you call it, homemade, and their sauces. The good part also is they are more than just fish. They do have chicken wings on their menu. They have bar foods on their menu also, kids meal. Plus, they do have a breakfast concept that you can do. So Fin City Fish and Chips can also serve breakfast. So this is good in GTA, but it's good in, Orangeville, Belleville, Trenton, Barrie. But again, we have not put one in like a Markham or Mississauga, but I'm sure that will do very well. And let's talk real quickly about some of our non-franchise locations or non-food. We have an interesting concept that is called Starfleet Detailing out of the Western Canada. This is custom cleaning of commercial vehicles, and you're also going to do mobile cleaning of recreation vehicles in your everyday. So you do have a part. This is for someone that just wants to get in, maybe hire one employee, maybe do it on themselves. Not a lot of up costs year round, because you go into these companies and you clean the trucks. Our franchisee or our operator in Calgary has the police force as their customer, because when their cars get dirty in the back seat and on a Friday night, they go and they get them detailed there. So you're looking at really about a $40,000 investment, 35 franchise fee, royalties are 8, local store marketing 4, and the marketing fund is 1. Where you're getting all your leads here is really through the Google ads, and that's why their local spend is a little bit higher. So you'll get basically a vehicle, you'll wrap it, and all the equipment goes in there. Okay. Then you have another business that is a huge business. You're looking at Uptown Med Spa. So people say to me, is this something I need to have a license to do? You as an operator will not have a license, don't need a license, but your people do. So ever since COVID, even before, you are seeing an uptick in what people are taking care of themselves. So this cost is about $395. Most of that cost is the equipment. They only use the best equipment out there because you're dealing with someone's face or body. 16 to 1,800 square feet, $35,000 franchise feet, 5 and 2. You will do fillers and Botox. You do facials, cool sculpting, facials that will rejuvenate your face. You'll do not non-surgical operations to make yourself I guess, feel and look younger. Very good concept. And again, the benefit of this concept is your labor is a little bit heavier because you do need specialty people, but your cost of goods sold is very low. Then we have Two Men in a Truck. And you probably have heard about Two Men in a Truck and their jingle. Right now, they've sold 3 units in BC. They had none at the beginning of the year. They're looking at the Maritimes, and the only availability in Ontario is 2 resales opportunity. The good part of them, when you get through, you will talk about their mechanism of analyzing your business. They'll know your offload rates. They'll track exactly where the truck is. If the truck has stopped and your employees will say, yeah, we're there, we're in a traffic, but they're sitting having food, we'll know. We know your offload rates, and everything's being tracked on an app, so the customer will know exactly where the truck is at all times. One of the benefits is they've added 2 men and a truck junk. So you really do one-stop shopping with them, because what happens is you remove your junk, and you probably have heard another jingle of another junk company that you can buy as a franchise, but it only takes care of junk. You're going to take care of both junk and truck moving and delivery. So again, we do also local, regional. We specialize in homes, and we have been doing businesses for the last 5 years. We do have packing. We have storage, sale of boxes, and packaging supplies. And we've added last year long distance. So basically, we've had a company that's a third-party company. The franchisee takes it from one side. Then basically the third party ships it over by truck to the next franchisee, and then the revenues are split. So that's a brand new program that we've done. Okay, let's talk about Inspiration Learning Centers. This is an education system. It has about 12 locations, Vancouver and Ontario. It's both a tutoring place, both for private and small groups, in center and online. And it also gives high school credits. So again, it's not your typical tutoring places where you rely on just tutoring. You do have high school credits, and there is a couple other avenues of income, such as education consulting, where you'll sit down and, especially during where do you want to go to university or college, there are ambassadors, as we call them, that will help your child determine what they want. Okay, you're looking at you're looking at about a $35,000 franchise fee, and then it's all in, it's about 83,000, plus you need some working capital. So let's talk, we're coming to the end, and again, feel free if anybody wants to put up their hands and ask for any questions, feel free. But let's talk about the Arthur Wishart Act. Okay, this is an act that was implemented years and years ago, and it was implemented to help franchisees make educated decisions. It is a list of everything that you need to know about the franchisor. One, when did they open their stores the last few years? When did they close the stores? The reason why they've closed the stores is any of their officers, have any court cases against them? Is there any lawsuits? Talks about opening costs. This is by a law that we have to give. There are some provinces that don't have this law in. I think there's just 3 provinces, but most franchisors will give it for all province. There's nothing wrong with disclosing this information. Now, with this, I always say is what happens is at a certain point during your sales cycle, you will be presented this. You will have to sign a receipt. Let me tell you, and I reiterate, please sign the receipt. You're not committing to anything. There's no need for you to worry, oh my God, I'm signing a franchise. You're signing what we call a franchise disclosure document. Just think of this as a parcel that you receive from Amazon. When you get your Amazon package, what happens is you have to sign a piece of paper that you received it or a tablet. This is exactly what it is. It's by law to help franchisees. There is a 14-day grace period before any franchisor can make you sign any agreements, which I'm talking about a franchise agreement. Okay. Now, part of the Arthur Wisher Act is we cannot give you any projections. We cannot give you any statements, financial statements. You cannot, so if you come to me, for example, and say, what do you think Milton would do? We're not allowed to do that. Okay, so we wish we could, but we're not, because that will influence your decision of what you want. So how do we figure out what values you're going to get or what sales you're going to get? You're going to have to do your homework. This is where part of the franchise disclosure document will give you a list of all the current franchisees. Give them a call. Some will give information, some won't, but give them a call. See what they say. Look on how many have closed. You know, if you see 1 have closed, 2 have closed, and they have 100 units, okay, figure out why. If you don't see a lot of closures, that means people are happy. If you see a lot of franchisees that are long-term, they're happy. That means otherwise they would have left the system. So that plus go into your place, take a look, go see 4 or 5 different retail operations of theirs. So that's what it is. Remember, the last approval would have, especially with us, we do not give approvals. It goes to the franchisor. So let's talk about the process, because everybody always says to me, how does the process work? So the first stage would be you receive something by email. Please put some information down and we'll send you some information. So again, normally what happens, we'll send it out. You'll get a call from a salesperson or a consultant saying, hi, you got some information. Would you want? What I tell you is if you're not really interested, tell the person, this is a business we're running. A lot of times, yeah, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back in an hour. They're not going to call you back in an hour. Just say, you know what? I looked at it. You don't know the person. They don't know you. No one's going to get their feelings. Just say thank you very much and move on. From there, you probably have either a Zoom meeting or in-person meeting with the franchise manager, and then they will ask you to fill out an application. Okay. At the application, they will most likely not do credit checks, but again, it's just an application to see what your net worth is, what your really highlights what your net worth is and what your experience is. From there, you either meet the founder if it's a small business, or if it's a large, you meet some sort of senior vice president of the company. They'll probably give you a preliminary discussion of the brand. Here's where you can ask any questions. Normally you can't ask financial questions, but again, If it's a founder, they probably can make the decision right away. If it's a larger organization, they may want to bring you to what we call a discovery day. Okay, and I'll get into that. Your fifth stage is you will need to get disclosed. So there's two ways that companies disclose you. They may ask you for a deposit, a refundable deposit, and there's conditions, or they may ask you to do an articles of incorporated company, or they may do both. It varies. The reason why they're asking for a deposit or they're asking you to articles of incorporation is because with the articles, they need to disclose the company, and they want you to disclose the personally the person that's going to be the operator. Okay, at this point, you need to be serious, like, yes, you know what, I'm interested. You haven't committed anything, but you are interested into proceeding. After that, you will go with the FTD, as we call it, review. This is where you'll probably have a discovery day. If it's a larger organization, you'll meet the team, and you'll meet the staff. Basically, you'll start validating the franchise agreement at this stage. And then you finalize your agreements and pay the franchise fee. So again, that is the step. Really, every franchisor may have a different steps, from whether it's 7 stages, 8 stages, 3 stages. Some move a lot faster, some move a lot slower, but you get an overview of how it is. Again, at any point in this stage, my recommendation is if you're not interested or you've lost interest, or you have any concerns, please bring it up to whoever you're dealing with, and they can answer your questions, or you can separate your ways. So that's my presentation. I thank you very much. I give you my cell phone number and my number here. And now we're opening it to, I just want to click to see if there's any questions. Feel free to ask me any questions you have. Otherwise, think about it. It's a lot of work that we've just did in the last hour. We've been on for right now for about an hour. If we don't have any questions, I wish you well. Thank you for coming aboard. That's what we're here for. Southbrook and my team is to help you make any decisions. So again, no questions I see. Thank you very much. And I look forward to speaking to some of you afterwards. Thank you.